There have been several heartbreaking moments in the first season of Matlock, but episode 12 casts one particular character's story arc in a rather disturbing light. Out of everyone in Matlock's cast of characters, it's always been clear that Mattie Kingston and her family have the most to gain or lose from the series' overarching investigation into the hidden files that might have prevented Ellie Kingston's death. But with Matlock's Season 2 renewal confirmed, the latest revelation could have consequences that linger in the background for some time to come. From the very first episode, the Matlock reboot has followed its own storyline independent of the original series. But while Mattie's search for buried documents that could have prevented the opioid epidemic is central to the show, the subplot of her grandson Alfie struggling to deal with the loss of a mother he never completely met hasn't involved Alfie himself as much as it arguably should. As of the episode, This Is That Moment, the lack of attention to his character feels more problematic than ever. Matlock episode 12 suggests Mattie played a role in Ellie's fatal relapse. Fighting Ellie for Alfie's custody may have led to Ellie's death. While Matlock episode 12 does further Mattie's revenge plan a little bit, the larger focus of the episode is on Mattie's past. When Olympia takes on a client in the middle of a contentious custody battle, it's revealed that Mattie took Ellie to court before her death to wrest away sole custody of Alfie. The judge rules in Mattie's favor when Ellie fails to show up for the ruling, and Edwin soon receives a phone call to inform him that Ellie missed court because she passed away from an overdose. A lot of things can trigger an addict, so it wouldn't be fair to say that the custody battle directly caused Ellie's relapse. Nonetheless, Edwin admits that he sometimes blames Mattie for Ellie's death. Based on the way Mattie pressures Edwin into saying it out loud, it seems that she blames herself quite a bit as well. Ellie only had a month clean at the time of her relapse, but she was taking her recovery more seriously this time after her last drug use led to Alfie getting injured. She only relapsed when it seemed certain she'd lose him. Matlock episode 12's Ellie reveal makes Alfie's absence especially strange. Alfie had multiple reasons to appear in this episode. Baby Alfie in Matlock. Aside from one appearance as an 18-month-old toward the end of the last flashback scene, Alfie doesn't appear once in Matlock episode 12. And since Alfie was too young at the time of Ellie's death to really remember her, it's likely that he doesn't even know about the custody battle. His concerns in episode 5 that Ellie chose drugs because she didn't love him enough make it clear that he at least doesn't know how desperately she begged Mattie not to take him, and the custody battle isn't the only reason Alfie could have been relevant to the plot. Episode 12 also progresses the subplot regarding the mystery of Alfie's father, and Mattie's ruse to track Julian's security card usage feels like the kind of tech-savvy idea that Alfie might suggest. But the custody issue definitely raises the biggest flag. It's discomforting to learn that Mattie and Edwin are keeping such a huge secret from Alfie without actually seeing them communicate. If we can't see them experiencing visible guilt or anxiety during their interactions with him, it makes their secrecy feel even worse. Why the latest Ellie twist makes Alfie's role on Matlock problematic. He never should have been assisting Mattie's investigation. Aaron Harris as Alfie Kingston in Matlock. Alfie is far from alone in his fear that Ellie chose drugs because he wasn't lovable. A lot of real-life addicts' children struggle with that same fear, and even those who eventually reconnected with their parents sometimes wrestle with those thoughts for decades afterward. Mattie has the chance to give Alfie the reassurance he yearns for at any time, but she's actively denying him the knowledge that Ellie fought for him until the day of the ruling. And there's currently no indication as to whether she'll come clean before Matlock's Season 1 finale. It's not like Mattie's position on custody was indefensible. She offered Ellie daily visitation with plans to give full custody back if Ellie stayed clean for a year. And Mattie's occasional use of 12-step terminology in Matlock suggests she's likely been to Naranon or at least read some recovery literature, so she'd understand that an addict's family is never at fault for their relapse. But by involving Alfie in her investigation, she's surrounding him with constant reminders of his mother's death. If she's going to put him in that position, she could at least give him the full story.